Hey everyone, today we are going to be talking about FAFSA and I'm going to walk you through the FAFSA application. For those who do not know, FAFSA stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid, and it helps when it comes to paying for post-secondary education. And so we as counselors just encourage students to go ahead and complete the FAFSA. And so to complete the FAFSA, the first step that you need to do is go to fafsa.ed.gov. And from there, you will see the exact same webpage that I have shown here. And then you will click the Start Here button. And then from there, you will hit I am a student and want to access the FAFSA form. And then here you will log in to continue. And so it's very important that you go ahead and create an FSA ID if you haven't already, because it takes 1 to 3 days to get verified. And if you are unsure of how to create an FSA ID, please go watch the previous senior webinar series video. And then you will log in with the FSA ID username you created as well as the password. And then this will show up, and so please read over it. And then once you finish reading it, press accept. And then it will ask you to create a save key. And so this is very important because it allows you and your parent to return and complete the specific FAFSA form. And so please make sure the save key is something that not only you will remember for the next couple of years, but your parents will remember as well. And so a pro tip would just be creating the save key and then go ahead and saving it to your notes app as well as sending it to your parents. And so once you finish creating the save key, then you will see the introduction similar to what I have here on my screen. And so I'll give you a couple of resources below to help complete your FAFSA form. I would like to note that once you start an application, you have 45 days to finish completing it, or else you will have to start over. And then we move to section 1 of the FAFSA application, which is student demographics. And so here is where it asks for your personal information. And so please make sure to double check all the information that you're inputting, such as your first name, middle initial, last name, your date of birth. And then from there, it will ask you to put your email address. And so it's very important that you do not put your Caldwell School's email, because as said in multiple videos, your Caldwell School email will expire once you graduate. And so it's very important that you put your personal email address onto these 2 questions. And then it also asks you for your telephone number. And then from there, it will ask your student address. And so please make sure to put in the correct mailing address and make sure everything's correct from your city as well as the zip code. And then it will ask you a little about residency questions. And so yours will look like, have you lived in North Carolina for at least 5 years? And then you hit yes and no. And then it will also ask if you are a US citizen. After that, it moves on to the student education section. And so here is how majority, if not all of you, will be completing this section. And so your high school completion status will be a high school diploma in the 2022 to 2023 school year. And then you'll be working towards your bachelor's degree. But if you are planning on going to CCC and TI, this will look like you will put associate's degree right here. And then it will ask if you have your first bachelor's degree, and you will put no. And then what will your college grade level be when you begin the school year? And so it's very important that you pay close attention and click never attended college / it's your first year. And so the last question asks if you're interested in being considered for work study. And so a little about work study is it's where for a lot of like these 4-year colleges, they offer undergraduate students as well as graduate students to be able to work majority of the times on campus to help pay for educational expenses. And so I had a work study throughout my college time at UNC Chapel Hill. And so if you're interested in it or just want to hear more information about my experience with doing a work study, please reach out to me. And then from there, it will ask about are you male or female? And so if you do hit male, it'll ask you questions related to the student selective service and whether you are registered. And so please pay close attention to that. And if you have any questions, as always, please reach out to me. And then it will ask for your driver's license number if you have one, as well as the state. And then it will ask you if you're a foster youth or were you in foster care system, and then you'll hit yes and no, and then it will ask for the high school completed by both of your parents. And then we move on to section 2, which is school selection. And so the first thing that they want you to do is add your high school. And so as shown here on the screen, I went ahead and added South Caldwell High School. And then it'll pull up the search results. And so you will hit South Caldwell High, or for my other students who are attending Caldwell Early College and once watching this video, you would hit Caldwell Early College. And then you want to go ahead and confirm your high school. And so make sure all the information that is entered is correct. And then it will allow you to college search. And so it's very important that you put the colleges that you plan on applying to on this FAFSA list. And so as you can see, you can add up to 10 colleges at a time. And so the colleges that you will put on here will be the same colleges that you plan on applying to or have applied to. And so in my example, I had put Chapel Hill and App State and LR, as well as TCC and TI. And so once you finish putting in your college list, it will then ask you for housing information relating to this. And so it's very important that you consider what your housing plans are whenever you're going to these schools. For example, for UNC Chapel Hill, my housing plans would be living on campus. While if I was applying to CCC and TI, my housing plans would be living with my parents. And so it's very important that you just be cautious of which colleges you're looking at and whether the housing plan will be on campus, off campus, or with parents. And so it does say up here that the order in which you list schools may affect your eligibility for state aid. And so for North Carolina specifically, there is, it won't affect your eligibility for state aid. And so you can put it in whatever order you would like. And then the next section is dependency status. And so as you see, the first question will ask for your marital status. And for a lot of you all, you may click single. And then it will ask if you have dependents. And so dependents means, do you have children who will receive more than half of your support? And so you will answer yes or no to these questions. And then it will ask you for additional dependency questions. And so as you see, it will ask if you're a veteran of the U.S. Armed Force, were you emancipated minor, were both your parents deceased, foster care. And so if any of these apply to you and you're unsure of what to do, please reach out to me or any of the other counselors, and we are more than happy to help you with your FAFSA application. And then it will ask, were you homeless or were you self-supporting and at risk of being homeless? So you'll hit yes and no. If you do hit yes, please feel free to reach out to me because your FAFSA application will look different than others. And so I want to be able to help guide you, make sure we are answering it to the best of our knowledge. And then it will ask about, based on your information that you just inputted, it will determine kind of like your dependency status. And so as you can see, mine says I'm a dependent student, which means I must provide parental information. And so if you are the dependent student, it's very important that you provide information about your parents. And then we reach the next section, which is parent demographics. And so as you can see, it will ask for the status of your parents. And so it's important to read over this, whether your parents live together and what that means, or if your parents are divorced and separated and you live with one parent more than other. And so reading these are very important because it helps determine whose information you'll be using for whenever you file for FAFSA. And so like if your parents live together, then you would use both their information. If your parents are divorced or separated and you live with one parent more than the other, you will use the one who you live more with. Or if your parents are divorced or separated and you live with both parents equally, you will use the parent's information who provides more financial support over you the last year. And if you are legally adopted, you will use the information about the persons who adopted you.